down and listen to records. Smell the cover, read all the verses. Tell me about your favorites on vinyl and vision.
Hi everyone, thanks for tuning into the latest episode of Vinyl and Vision. I'm your host Jimmy Drab. Tonight my guest is Kate Mick. She is a local singer and songwriter in Rhode Island, and I really love her singing style and songwriting ability. She plays a banjo. That's how she writes all of her songs and sings them as of right now. And she has a deceivingly sorrowful and deep voice, singing voice. From what you're going to witness here tonight, as far as seeing her physical appearance as well as her speaking voice. It's actually it's kind of cool. So I hope you like that. I hope you like her music, because we'll be featuring some of that on the episode as well. And she has a new record coming out in September. We don't have an exact date yet, but if you go to her website, which we will link in our homepage, katemick.com, I believe it is, you can find out all the information. You can join her mailing list and things like that. You can also find her on the social medias, Instagram and Facebook, I'm pretty sure. And the record we're featuring tonight was her choice, Pixies Doolittle. It's actually her record. I'm not selling it, and we're not selling it. She has no desire to, and I don't blame her. Great dark record. We had a few problems technically, as I always do, with the new recording system and the record as it was playing. You're not going to hear it on the video anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But if you're listening to the audio stream or go to the audio stream, you'll see what we're talking about. Kind of a little annoying. But otherwise, please do all the things you do with the internet. Like, subscribe, share even, here on YouTube, and also the audio streams on all the platforms. And give us a review, something like that. Comment if you like, whatever you want. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Stop looking at those past certain spiral. I am hiding in towns nearby where maybe you can't see everything you could be, or I'll shatter your knees. Come learn me.
Okay, cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, Kate. Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Take two.
Take two.
So we were just going over how we had met,
Right.
which was at the cable car, and I'm pretty sure it was 2008.
Yeah, somewhere around there, definitely. Yeah.
So you had not been doing music yet at that point.
Not at all. And maybe around that time I had bought myself a banjo, and just because I wanted some instrument to mess around with. I had grown up playing some piano, but it never caught on, but I'm sure somewhere in my subconscious it's been very helpful.
Yeah.
And so as I was saying, I would just play really quietly in my room just for myself. I didn't want anyone to hear what I was doing. And it wasn't until 2016, I just got a little tired of playing just for myself, and I would play maybe for a friend or two, and they'd say, hey, you should do something with this. So I started doing open mics, met some other musicians, and I got a lot of support from other musicians, just other local musicians saying, oh, you want to play this show? And so it was great. It kind of occurred naturally, just being able to play out for other people.
Yeah. And kind of quickly as well. So 2006 is when you first started to really focus on writing your own music, or?
2008
Did I say 6 or 16?
Yeah, you said 2006.
I'm sorry, I meant to say 16.
Which, no, I was not thinking about a banjo at all at that time. And, yeah, 2016 was when I started playing out, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But I had been writing songs, trapped in my bedroom for a few years then. So there just came a point where I was like, what am I doing? Like, why am I keeping these songs to myself? And maybe I should share them. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. So and so what brought you to try to go out and perform? Just friends that you had played for just kind of pushed you into that scene and said, hey, we heard about an open mic night you can go, and then you kind of just kind of building the passion from there?
Exactly. People would just say, hey, why don't you play this open mic, or why don't you open for me for this small show? And I just kept at it. Mostly, I moved to Warren in 2016 and became good friends with Sasquatch from Sasquatch and the Sickabillies, Dave, who owns Galactic Theater. Great guy, and he saw me play once, and he was like, "Why don't you play at my venue?" I was like, "Cool." Played at his venue. He was like, "I want to record you," and I was like, "Really?" Like, okay. And I was just like, "If you want." And I liked that idea because I had no experience in recording, and he was just like, it's not gonna be anything special. Like, he was actually experimenting a lot too with recording, so it was like he was learning and I was learning, so it was not a lot of pressure there. And we just did like 1 or 2 nights. We just recorded me playing live, just vocals and banjo, in his at Galactic Theater, and I had all these songs that I had been writing for the past 8 years, so I had a 10-song album out of it, and pretty lo-fi, but like people liked it, people were buying it, and people were excited for me, and it got me to that next level of people knowing that I was a musician and wanting me to play at venues and stuff. So
yeah, that's cool. So it was all just live to tape? That wasn't necessarily recorded on tape, I'm assuming, but it was all just done live?
Yeah, it was all done live.
Actually performing at Galactic Theater?
Yeah. Well, it wasn't like a live show. We just...
Right, you didn't have an audience.
Yeah, we didn't have an audience. You can like hear some of the cars driving by and some of the songs and stuff. So, yeah, that was fun. And then, so this past March and April, I just recorded a 9-song album at Big Nice Studio in Lincoln, Rhode Island, which is awesome, and that is going to be that's all full band stuff, so that was really fun.
Oh, cool.
So that's hopefully coming out in September.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you have plans to press it, or just CDs and digital downloads?
Just CDs for now. Maybe down the line, if I can make some money off of it, I'll make some vinyl or... Yeah,
well, what about the GoFundMe or like some kind of crowdsourcing?
Yeah, I could do that.
Oh, I'm not trying to pressure you.
It's great. No, absolutely. I always feel so weird asking for money, but it is true. If people want it, they'll pay for it. So definitely, it's definitely not a definite no on that. So we'll see. Yeah.
Well, my good friend Steve Mattos, that was in popular bands like Arab on Radar and stuff, and who has had a whole career of like putting out records constantly, did that for the first time just this past year.
Oh.
And he put out his own first solo record and got it pressed on vinyl by doing GoFundMe.
Nice. Yeah, he's got a great fan base, and people want that.
I think all he asked for, like, I didn't actually ask him how many he pressed, but all he the goal was like 3,700 maybe.
Nice. Yeah.
And it got funded. And so he did it, and everyone got their copy.
That's great.
Yeah. So it might be something kind of, because it doesn't sound like a very hard goal to reach. I mean, as far as like, what people are willing to pay.
Right.
Obviously, he had some of these packages where, like, one of the bigger things, I think that may have like been around $500 or something, was to get the original artwork that his wife made for the cover.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So I was just like, that would be, I mean, if you have stuff like that, you can give away, like maybe some like demos or something from the recording.
Creative ways to make it appealing, for sure.
Yeah, even Ted Leo did it.
Yeah.
His last solo record, he actually funded himself, like through crowdsourcing.
Oh, cool. Awesome. Yeah.
I think one of his things though is like a little more adventurous. Something like individually pressed like 7 inches of like
Wow.
multiple singles from the album that didn't make it.
Oh, awesome. That's pretty cool. That's pretty special.
Right.
Yeah, you gotta do stuff like that these days, I guess. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the CDs sell versus people just Spotifying it.
Or digital downloads.
Yeah. I don't know. I personally like having a physical thing. Like especially like local artists, I try to get their actual CDs or
Right.
just do a CD trade with them or something. So
Yeah. That's always easier when you
Yeah.
you have something that you can barter
Yeah.
with.
But new cars don't have CD players anymore.
No?
Well, I'm sure some do, but
Yeah.
I recently bought a new car and I was very sad. I was like, oh wait, there's no CD player.
Whoa.
Even my old car even had a cassette player, which is great, and but I still have a way to listen at home, and I can always
Right.
transfer it on the digital or whatever.
Yeah. I imagine you probably use your phone or something, right? You just plug it
Yeah.
into the dashboard or something like that.
Yeah.
No, it's not bad. It's,
No, it's just another way to look at your phone.
It's convenient. I admit.
Mm.
People like to speak how impractical vinyl is, which I agree with. I completely agree with it. It is not
Right.
an easy format to listen to.
Right.
But but yeah, because they haven't figured out the car record player yet.
Right. I know. They've had all this time.
Actually, I was informed by my neighbor that that's not true. That they did.
Oh.
Like there are some like 50s
Yeah.
models or something of some person or some company
I believe that,
created
yeah.
it. I don't think it was designed for like traveling play
Right.
though. I think it was just like you get to your destination and park, and you can like put on like a 45 or something. I
Like
think
maybe
I
it's
don't,
in the trunk or something.
something
maybe
like that. Or even if it's built into the dash, it's like you just can't use it while you're moving.
Right.
Just-
I can't imagine. I would love to watch someone drive and put a record on at the same time. That would be.
Even worse than CDs. Remember,
Yeah.
like the first generation of like CD players, and like every bump you would hit, it just start to jump.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. But yeah. Oh, and I guess just going back through our history, it's funny because we didn't really see each other for many years, and then we just like a couple of years ago we re-met.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is cool. I was like, I know you.
Yeah. Yeah, it was very strange because I didn't know that you were a musician, and I
Yeah.
ran into you, and I believe you were performing.
Oh really? Yeah, I can't quite remember where we re-met, but I know I was like
Yeah.
hanging out with Anthony and
Right.
from Barn Burning, and I was like, oh, I knew your friend somehow, and I was like, oh, the cable car.
Yeah, that's right.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was one of those weird things where he dragged me out because I don't go
You
out
don't.
much. I'm trying to
I
do
don't,
more.
I don't either.
Yeah.
Well, like another reason why I like performing out is that it forces me to go out. If I wasn't a performer, I'd never go out.
Yeah.
Like it'd have to take something very special for me to go out, and just I'm not like a night person, which is terrible. I'm like up at 6:30 a.m. and in bed by 9. I'm so lame. But that's just I've always been that way. So yeah, I always have to have like a cup of coffee before my shows, and
Yeah.
that's why I'm always so jittery on stage, I guess.
Really?
But
It's not just the nerves.
I mean,
the
it's
coffee.
probably it's all of it.
It's the
It's
coffee.
the coffee. Yeah, I don't get nerves, and
It's all old hat to you now.
right.
Yeah. So you're actually fairly new to the music performance and music scene thing, I guess.
Yeah,
right?
pretty new.
2016.
Yeah, I've always been a big fan of seeing music, and in my younger years when I could stay out till 11 o'clock, I would go out and see bands, and it's for sure. I've always loved going to the local venues and seeing who's playing. So that's another like seeing my friends perform and doing music. I was like, well, if they can do it, I can do it.
Yeah, for sure you can. And obviously you have proven yourself. I like your music. I've listened to your record, the first one. I'm looking forward to the new one.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've listened to it. I don't remember hearing like the noise, like the disturbances, the street noise, like
Oh
cars
yeah, they're
driving
very
by.
subtle. Yeah.
Yeah. I
they're-
mean, it's a pretty good mix. Like
Yeah.
it sounds good.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So, but it's it was pretty interesting. I'm really looking forward to hearing the band instrumentation because that was the first thing I picked up on was that they sound great the way they are, just kind of banjo and vocals, but
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, you can do so much with the instrumentation.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
it's kind of like this blank canvas thing for me as a musician. I was just listening to it, being like, I can hear some of my piano stuff going on. I can hear bass lines and all this stuff.
And I think you inquired about that a couple of years ago. I think
I
you
did.
told me. Yeah, and I completely, like, at that point, I was just trying to focus on getting, like, some new songs written and doing my thing, like, really focusing on the banjo, because I still had a lot to learn with it, and I didn't want all my songs sounding the same, you know, so I was like, I gotta learn some new chords. And so I was really focused on my stuff, and then I started playing with the Swamp Birds, which was awesome, and I still play with them, and like learning how to play with other musicians, which I've never done before. I was very hesitant about it. I was like, this is gonna be awful, like I am just like a solo person, but the Swamp Birds are so sweet and so laid back, and we have so much fun. So I was so I learned how to play with them, and then kind of just used them for my album. Just like, all right, this is my band now, and so I kind of and then I was like, oh yeah, James asked me like if which is still possible in the future. I may need you. I'll definitely keep you in mind.
No big deal. I'm not too hurt.
Yeah, but I do remember you asking that. And
I think I'm just gonna cut this interview short. I'm just gonna cut it off right now.
Yeah, I totally understand. I'll just leave.
No, it's okay. That's great. So the Swamp Birds was basically the band for the record?
For many of the songs, not all of them. I think all of them are on at least 2 songs, and then I used Brian Jablonski and Pedro, who does drums a lot. I used them on like 4 or 5 songs. And then I had a couple other friends that really wanted to be in on it, so it just kind of worked out that way. And it was like a blank canvas, and it was really exciting because I had written these songs, and then when I went back, I was like, okay, what do I hear in this, and like what style musician do I want in this? And it was really fun to kind of put together and see what friends came up with.
So it was pretty loose. It's not like you had everything worked out, like what you wanted where.
Yeah, only like it was a little half and half. Like I was, I don't play guitar, I don't play drums, so I'm not one to say like do it this way. I really trusted in whoever was playing that instrument. But there's definitely times where it's like I hear backup vocals, I hear this sort of guitar sound, like, so I definitely had a say in that sort of stuff, which was great.
Of course you did.
Yeah.
It's your baby.
It's my album. Do what I want.
That's right. Cool. So, how did you, overall, what do you think? How did it come out, like?
Good, I'm super happy with it. It was Brad Krieger at Big Nice Studio that did the recording, which is, have you been to Big Nice Studio and know much about it?
I've been hearing about it more.
Yeah, they're great. I think they've been around 2 or 3 years, maybe more now. Just awesome studio space. Again, like, just laid back. They're not music snobs, or if they are, they don't show it. I'm sure they are music snobs, but they don't show it. And he did the mastering too, and it was great. Yeah, it was a good time.
Cool. Sounds great. So now, from what I know about your music, it was a little kind of jarring when I approached you about coming onto the show and saying, like, well, what record would you like to feature?
Yeah.
So you gave me 2 options, both of which I was like, wow, okay, that's cool.
I think I gave you 3 options.
I remember this one, Pixies Doolittle.
Yeah.
And then The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill.
Yeah.
And
I figured, I just mentioned Bonnie Raitt's first album, I believe, or at least a very early album of hers. I believe it's from 1971.
Okay.
It's untitled, but people know it as the Bluebird album, because she does that song Bluebird. But yeah, because I got so excited, I was like, oh, like, my favorite albums, and then I told you Lauryn Hill, and I was like, he's gonna think I'm really weird.
No, I mean,
and then just because it's so different from my music.
Yeah.
As well as the Pixies, but I see similarities in my music with the Pixies, but not
It's
everyone.
dark.
Yeah, yeah.
Little dark, kind of little
Yeah.
gothic, little
Yep.
yeah,
Totally.
for
Some,
sure.
like religious, like
Undertones
yeah.
and death.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dismemberment.
Yeah.
Decay.
Actually, I'm a huge metalhead now. I listen to a lot of Swedish death metal.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, which has been really fun to get into and realize that what type of metal I like. I do not like progressive metal, but I'm really into the doom metal and the death metal.
Really?
Yeah.
You've been to any shows lately?
No.
You didn't
But
want to go to the show?
No. I think it'd be fun. And,
It's a little scary. It's a little
yeah,
too scary.
Yeah. No, it'd be really fun to go to certain shows. I haven't pinpointed like my favorite bands so far in the metal scene, but I definitely know my genres now.
Wow.
So
I'm impressed.
yeah, mostly thanks to my partner Adam, who's a big metalhead and has, every time we get in his car, it just goes right to his like shuffled iPod,
Yeah.
phone list,
It's a
whatever.
playlist of some sort.
And I'm always like, oh wow, like I like this song, and
Cool.
like getting used to it. And he's like, yes, this is doom metal. I was like, oh, I can see why. And
Doom, yeah, makes sense.
yeah. So that's been fun to get into that genre, and yeah.
Cool. Well, I'm not totally surprised. I mean, it is surprising.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, we develop these like stereotypes about people. Like you kind of get an impression based on the interactions that you have with people, and sometimes, unfortunately, even the way they look.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, it's haunted me all my life.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I have stories. I have stories of just wanting to be a shepherd in the Christmas pageant, but they made me be an angel, and I just wanted to be a shepherd.
I can see a shepherd.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, thank you. But no, I had to be an angel because I had blonde hair. I was
Right.
very upset.
Fair skin.
Yeah. It's very, yeah. So.
And you're female. I think that kind of helps
Yeah.
with the angel thing.
Yeah, it might have been one of those like all the boys are shepherds and all the girls are angels or something. But
Right.
I kind of just remember being very upset being typecasted.
Yep. Well, unfortunately, it happens a lot
Yep.
still.
Yep.
But I remember a lot of the people I speak with, that kind of is one thing that gets mentioned, on how, especially for musicians, it always seems a little awkward that we have such diverse musical tastes, but it shouldn't be awkward at all.
Right.
Because, I listen to all different types of weird music, and
Right.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe it would surprise you to hear that I like. What do I like? That's weird. I don't know. I sometimes listen to the old stuff from the '90s that kind of seems a little embarrassing now, like 311 or
Oh, sure. Yeah.
stuff
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. I'm just like,
Yeah.
kind of unfortunately, it's kind of like where I came from.
Yeah. It's
So.
it's right. It's in you somehow. So.
Yeah.
it's-
Even like some kids' music is like, sometimes it's just good songs. Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
good
yeah.
writing, it's good craftsmanship.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I think it's important to just be open to whatever music you feel like listening to.
Yeah, for sure. So what was your first experience with the Pixies, considering this is the one you chose for tonight?
Yeah, so the Pixies, I've just, ever since I went to, so I have an older sister, and she influenced a lot of my musical tastes growing up, and she was maybe like 15 at the time, and I was like 13, and for her birthday, she said, I want a Pixies CD, and I was like, okay. I was like, what the heck are the Pixies? And we're not on radio, so
Whatever. You can say whatever the fuck you want.
that's great. And I was like, all right, and I'm like picturing, the Pixies, and
It sounds like some stupid indie
it's like,
pop thing.
yeah,
like,
some pop band, and like, okay, that's weird. And so I like wandered into, it may have just been Newberry Comics. I think it was Newberry Comics. And I go to the Pixie section, and I'm looking at all the CDs, and I think I grabbed their Come On Pilgrim album, and I brought it to the register, and the guy kind of looked at me funny.
It's like, are you sure you want to do this?
Yeah, he was just like, have you heard of them? And I was like, no, I'm buying this for my sister. And he was like, I he was like, did she want a specific CD from them? And I was like, no, she just wanted Pixies album. And I was like, and he was like, well, come with me. And then we went back to the Pixies section. He was like, give her this one first, like, and just I was like, okay. I was like, this.
Rosa?
What?
Surfer Rosa?
No, it was Doolittle.
Oh,
it was Doolittle. Okay. Yeah, and I think it was anyway. Maybe it was Surfer Rosa, and then we got into Doolittle or something. But
it's so weird how the record store guys do that.
They're like, and I mean, but in a way, like
helpful.
If someone did that to me now, I'd be like, shut the fuck up, I know what I'm doing. Yeah, like, but I was 13 and he probably was like, well, he probably was trying to be like, I want you guys to like the Pixies, so start with this album and then you can go on to Common Pilgrim later or something.
Yeah.
And he was right, because so we listened to it constantly and we loved it, and it was just like fun, and because there is like a poppy feel to it.
Oh yeah.
And we were mostly listening to rock at that time anyway, so it wasn't anything too crazy for us. But yeah, we would just listen to it, and like Debaser is the first song on it, and it's super poppy, and then you like hear the lyrics, and you're like, oh, slicing up eyeballs, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So we had a lot of fun with all the Pixies albums.
Right, and just the imagery too. I mean, some of like the artwork that.
Yeah, totally.
What's his name? Leibeister? I forget how to pronounce his name. Larbalster.
Oh, is that who does it?
Simon Larbalster, yeah.
Yep.
Amazing artist. I mean, like, the only thing I know that he does is the Pixies art records.
Oh, really?
And I think he had done all the first, up until Trompe Le Monde, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Trompe Le Monde is obviously the one that has, like, the most different
Right, that makes sense. Actually, I never put that together. Yeah, that makes total sense.
Yeah, so, I mean, like, he like, that, the artwork alone is what kind of, really, like, made the Pixies stand out, I think, personally. Yeah. Because you just, like, just the visual association with what the music ends up sounding like what you end up finally hearing. And one of the facts about this record, actually, is that this was the first record in which he was able to get a copy of the lyrics before, to help him, inspire him to make the art.
Cool.
Everything else beforehand, he just kind of made up the art, and they just selected whatever.
Because it is, it's very referential, like
specific to the songs, like even the cover art with the monkey and the 567.
Yep. Yeah. And on the inside are those images that are all, it's like very surrealistic, but still references the.
We should actually bring it out now.
Song. Yeah.
This is your copy. This is your copy of Pixies Doolittle, which I wasn't able to do the research that I wanted to do on this, but so you said you got this as a gift last year? Yeah,
last Christmas.
So this actually might be one of the newest reissues from 2018.
Yeah, probably. It's
Yeah, because so I had one of these. I had a reissue recently, but it was actually the 2004 reissue.
Oh, okay.
Very, very slightly different. Not very different at all.
So I think that's about when they got back together. Because they broke up, and then I think they got back together, or some of them got back together for the for like a tour.
2003, I think, is when they first reunited, and it was the original lineup. And then that was short-lived, unfortunately.
Oh, right. That's what it was,
They just can't get together with Kim Deal very well for some reason.
Kim, we love you.
Yeah, I do love her. Yeah. She's great.
No, she's amazing.
But she's, and she's gone on to have a great career with the Pixies.
Yeah. She doesn't need the Pixies.
So, just the one inlay in here, just the one kind of picture sleeve, just the inlay with the lyrics.
Right, and those images on the side all kind of relate to the lyrics.
Yeah, so I think for the original release, or maybe earlier pressings at least, there was a multi-gatefold in here, and so these were more enlarged.
Yeah, that would have been cool to have. I think the CD is like that, if I remember correctly. Like, the CD and you fold it out.
CDs is still such a small image.
But I do remember that now.
Huh. But this is great. This is in great shape. You take care of your stuff. I mean, it's only been a year old. But
it is. But I listen to it every month or two.
Yeah.
It's definitely my go-to when I just want to hear something really familiar that is fun and dark and just like doesn't, even though I've listened to it, it's always like been in my life since like adolescence. It doesn't bring up any like nostalgia, which is funny because I've always listened to it. So yeah, it brings up the nostalgia of maybe when I first got it from my sister and like us listening to it together. But it's like it's always been consistent in my life, so it doesn't. I don't associate it with like a relationship or a bad time in my life or whatever. So
yeah, as soon as the Pixies come into your life and you accept it, it's pretty much doesn't go away. Like you kind of start obviously going through the rest of the catalog and it just stays with you. It's just one of those bands that do that.
Yeah, and then you can get into Black Francis and all his solo stuff and projects, which is fun too.
Yeah, and then of course we mentioned the Breeders already, and that's always good too. So I thought it's funny. So I do a lot of record resale stuff, and so this record has actually gone on to sell very well continually ever since it was released. Now, I mean, it was a slow climb because this was their second full-length record after Surfer Rosa.
Right.
And Surfer Rosa wasn't very well received. It was, I mean, it did okay, I guess, but it just, it didn't really get its much due credit until much later on in their career, actually far after they disbanded, of course. But this record, so some of the numbers that I saw was that it was selling steadily at like 1,500 units a week.
Oh, wow.
A week? Month. I think a week.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think it's their most popular
It is.
album.
It's the most commercially, like, what's that word? Not successful, but commercially acceptable record. It's just the easiest listen, I guess.
Right,
It's the most, it's the cleanest sounding, it's the most hooky record that they have.
Right.
Much thanks to probably the producer Gil Norton, which I was doing some research on him because I know his name and I know work that he's done, but I kind of wanted to like go back and see like, okay, so what was he doing before this? So he's been producing records since '81, and the first one it seems that he has a credit for is B Vamp, Valium Girls. I don't know what that is, but some of the more popular stuff is he's worked a lot with this band China Crisis, who I'm not familiar with.
Okay.
Most famously, Echo and the Bunnymen.
Oh, cool! I could see that. Yeah.
Yeah. So in the early '80s, Echo and the Bunnymen stuff.
Totally.
And then he went on to, not specifically in this order, but he actually worked with Throwing Muses as well.
Oh, cool.
So that must have been where some of that connection was made, because obviously Throwing Muses being originally from Rhode Island, getting the Boston label, and then obviously rubbing elbows with the Pixies when they first started.
Yeah. Did he do Surfer Rosa too?
No. That was Steve Albini.
Oh, right.
But they weren't actually very happy with that experience.
Right.
So,
that's right. Okay.
They went on to, I think it was a recommendation from the record producer, the record owner.
Sure. Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, it's a really clean album. Again, it's such a nice balance between the darkness and the just a clean, almost pop sound.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I found it very strange. Like, I guess if you think more about the Pixies in the time frame that where they were when they created it, it seems a lot more I don't know how to say it exactly. Like, it seemed more experimental and more like kind of out of left field than it does now.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
So you said that when you were 13, you got this record for your sister. So what year was that?
That was like late 90s.
Late 90s? Okay. So it was already 10 years after the fact.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But late 90s. They weren't together anymore. They broke up in the early 90s.
Yeah, they broke up in the early 90s. They made this in '89, I believe.
Yep.
And so they were. Yeah, I remember learning that they broke up, and I was very sad. I was like, oh, I'll never see them. But then learning about the Breeders and being like, and Black Francis doing his solo stuff, so I was like, oh, there's still other stuff out there. And yeah, I think my sister must have just learned about them through like listening to all, like, because like Kurt Cobain was a huge Pixies fan,
Right, very famously.
and you know, she was into Hole and Garbage and those kind of 90s rock bands, so it somehow she got word of the Pixies.
Yeah, it all ties in together, especially that Nirvana connection.
Yeah, yeah.
Which I think is funny. Now, I had already done an episode about the Pixies. We did an episode with Jeff Robbins doing Surfer Rosa.
Yeah, yep.
So that was really cool because he was actually a performer like in that time frame, like, you know,
Yeah.
more mid to late 90s, I guess. But I thought it was interesting. I meant to mention this, and I didn't have this with me at the time, and I kind of got off track. I got off topic because I do that when I talk sometimes.
Mhm.
But so I think it's very strange that Nirvana was so influenced by the Pixies when they were basically like conceived at the same time.
Right.
Because the Pixies started really working as a band in '86.
Mhm.
Didn't put out Come On Pilgrim until '87.
Okay.
Surfer Rosa came out '88.
Oh, okay.
And Nirvana, Bleach was released in '89.
Oh, really?
So they were already a band as well. Like, so they literally were probably bands at the same time on separate coasts.
Right, right.
And so I think it's funny that, I mean, this
must
is
have just got thrown in Kurt Cobain's hands, and like he just probably listened to it
Oh, yeah.
all the time, and
right. I mean, he took to it immediately.
Right,
clearly.
right, exactly.
And like he has, you know, famously
Yeah.
gone on to say, like, you know, the Pixies are so amazing. Like he basically had wished that he was part of that band.
Oh, yeah.
But so Nevermind came out in '91.
Yep.
So by that point, I think discography-wise, the Pixies had probably already released Bossa Nova, their third
Oh, wow.
full length. Because Trompe Le Monde, I think, came out in '92
Wow, they were one.
or maybe '93.
That sounds right. Yeah, they just.
So yeah, and In
cranked them
Utero,
out, Yeah.
In Utero came out in '93.
Wow.
And
yeah,
that's
so
Nirvana's last
they were
record.
side by side. I wonder if they ever played together. Like
I don't
that.
think they ever played
Yeah.
together. I know that the Breeders opened up for Nirvana
Oh, cool.
at least once, at
Okay.
least. But no, I don't think. But so the thing being is that, you know, I think that Frank Black had this chip on his shoulder about how, you know, everyone knows Kurt Cobain loves the Pixies and wishes he was part of them or whatever. But they had so surpassed him and eclipsed that band success-wise
Right.
so quickly.
Right.
And you know, that's all he ever gets now. All Frank Black ever gets told about is like, well, this guy Kurt Cobain loved your
Yeah.
music, and you know, he
Yeah.
was the most influential person of the '90s.
Right. It's kind of a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
It's like, oh.
Right.
And then, yeah, I feel like Kurt was nice enough to mention a lot of underground bands that he was a fan of that
It's true.
did bring those bands a lot of fame.
Mhm.
And yeah, it is funny that it's kind of
It's that sore side in Frank
yeah,
Black's
yeah. I don't blame
in
him.
his ego.
But he's still alive. So.
Yeah, he's still able to carry on, and now, you know, reaps the
Right.
accolades that
Right.
he's always wanted, or at least has, you know, rightfully earned.
Right. And I actually I had like a fan moment with him, Charles Thompson, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. And because he lives in Western Mass, and I lived there for a few years, and I worked at a museum, and it was a museum based on illustration, so it wasn't necessarily a kids museum, but a lot of kids came because there's like illustration. It was based on picture books, and I was like guest services, so I would just like be bored at the desk, and he walks in with his kids, and at first I'm like, I knew he lived in the area,
Mhm.
but I was just like, I just didn't believe it at first, and I was like, is that? And I like charged him and everything, because I wasn't convinced. I was like, that's not him, because he just he's so normal. He's
Yeah,
just like
yeah.
a dad. He's just, and
And dads are dumb.
yeah, No, they're just so normal.
Yeah, no, I know.
He doesn't act like a rock star. He doesn't act like he's one of the biggest bands, and so anyway, I'm just like, here you go, give them their tickets. They like run along, and then like I'm just sitting there for the next 10 minutes, like spaced out, trying to figure out if that's him. And I was like, it's totally him. And I was like, I really wished I just like gave him some free passes and was like, you're cool, like, and like wasn't all like fan
like,
about it.
Like,
Wasn't,
I know.
Yeah, like I know you. It's okay, you guys go along. But so that was fun to just like run into him. I guess.
But you didn't make the connection. You didn't say, hi, hey, you're Frank Black, hi, nice to meet
No,
you.
I don't
type
know
thing.
why I was like super unconvinced. Like, why would he be here? Like, he doesn't
Right.
do normal things. I'm like, yes,
Yeah.
he does. He has a family. Like, yeah. So that was pretty cool.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, maybe someday.
And if I did, like, if I was so convinced it was him, I probably would have been super awkward and just like, I love your music, and like he would have felt really strange, and his kids probably would have rolled their eyes and hated their dad.
The kids especially.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, he's getting it again.
Yeah. Some fangirl coming up. But
It's like, what do you want him to sign this time?
yeah. Right. So.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, it's nice that he has that local connection too. Like he went to UMass Amherst for a couple of years. I think he has that song about UMass, and then.
Actually, I had heard that he. I don't know how true this is, so if anyone wants to back this up for me, please feel free. But I had heard, and I don't remember where exactly, that when he was doing some of his solo work, he would actually come down to Providence open mic nights and test out some new songs.
No way.
Yeah, and he would basically go unnoticed.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Right, because he's probably in Boston at the time, or
probably,
and
or at least
if
in
he
Western
went,
Mass.
yeah,
And, just kind of like hit at some off night, open mic night. It's like, what those are like.
Right.
You get a few people in a room, you get 20 people, maybe, mostly all the musicians.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool that he did that. That's awesome.
I think. That's what I heard. I don't know how true that is.
Well.
But it makes sense. I mean,
it does.
You gotta test out some new material. It's just like,
and
why
you
not?
want to do it, like, he probably couldn't go to a Boston open mic because they're probably busier, and it's more of a chance for people to notice him.
Well, plus you want like a non-biased opinion. You want some like non-biased feedback, being like, okay, these people liked that song. Good.
Right.
Okay, like that's what I wanted to know.
Right.
Because as soon as you say, hey, this is Frank Black from the Pixies, everyone's just like, oh, it's going to be fucking awesome.
Right, exactly.
Maybe he'll play a Pixies song. It's like,
right, but he just wants to do his own thing. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So,
nice.
Maybe, I don't know, that would be cool.
That would be cool if he did that.
So, one thing I wanted to ask you that I kind of forgot about was the banjo. Why the banjo and how the banjo?
Yeah, I don't even know. Mostly because I wanted to try an instrument. Like, I wanted to play an instrument. I had some piano lessons when I was a kid, which was great, and maybe learned some basics to that. It never caught on. I just, like, wasn't into practicing like most kids are, and I just was like, this is fun, like, I like this, but, like, I wasn't attached to it. And then, didn't play anything for years. I saw someone... I would sometimes pick up, like, my friends' guitars, like their acoustic guitars, and mess around on them and just, like, see what I could do on them. And they just always felt so bulky, just especially acoustic guitars, and they just felt awkward, so I was like, oh, it's probably not my thing. And, playing guitar, you really got to get used to all the awkward hand movements and power chords and all that. And then I discovered the mandolin for like a year because I was like, oh, it's small and tiny, and like maybe that's more my style, because I was getting really into folk music too. And I played that for a year, and it was really fun. And then I just kind of came to a stopping point with it where I just didn't, I don't know if it was like a skill level thing, or I just got kind of bored with it. And then a friend of mine had a banjo, and I picked it up, and I was like, oh, this feels perfect. Like, it's not too tiny like a mandolin, where you, like, the frets on the mandolin are like 2 inches. Like, it's like really tiny to fit all your hands in there. They're all double stringed on mandolins.
Mm-hmm.
And then it didn't feel too bulky like a guitar. The banjo has an open G, so you can literally just sit there and strum a G or finger pick with a G and practice that. So, and my friend showed me a few chords, and I just took to it, and I was just like, I love this thing. Super easy to play. I don't play like a finger picking bluegrass style. I play more of like a strummy style. So I'm not very technical with it. I've become more technical with it, and like definitely do some finger picking now, but nothing like, you know.
It can be wild.
Yeah, it can be wild. So so nothing like the great banjo players, but it's still fun. So yeah, I just took to it, and I was like, this is fun. And it's not like you go to those open mics and it's just like, oh, another dude with a acoustic guitar playing a 6-minute song about God knows what, like right. So I was kind of tired of just guitars in general. So
makes sense. I mean,
yeah,
it's a very unique instrument.
Yeah, it was a refreshing sound,
and especially for like a singer-songwriter style, like, you know, being that predominant instrument and that being your primary.
Right.
So like, your whole first record is just you and your banjo.
Yep, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's very cool.
Yeah. So I just went with it. I was like, all right, this is the first instrument that I've felt like a connection with and felt really comfortable with. So. So.
Weird. So have you considered like maybe any other instruments like?
Yeah, I've been learning guitar. I got an electric, which is great because it's not like as bulky as acoustic, and I got an electric guitar. I try it out every once in a while. It's really fun. I gotta take some lessons or something just to get some techniques down. But I haven't written any songs on it. But what's going on over there?
Oh, I'm just gonna do some video detail about the record. I mean, I typically do it because I sell the record.
Oh, cool, nice.
But obviously, I'm not selling your record.
Right, that I wouldn't allow that.
No, you wouldn't want that.
So what happened to your record? Did you like sell?
Oh, I sold it.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, I sold that shit for a shit ton.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh.
It didn't sell for that much.
Okay.
But I think it's funny that because that's what I do. And that's what I'm interested in, because there's a lot kind of behind like record sales that I think is very strange, having gotten into it. That depending on the record, because like so there's a couple things I still don't understand, as far as like, you know, how many records do they actually press? Like I had given you that number that this record has sold pretty consistently. About 1,500 units a week ever since it was released. Kind of mind-blowing when you're thinking about it. You're like, what? Like 1,500 a week? It's
Is
like,
that worldwide?
I think worldwide. I think so. Yeah. Because I mean, it's going on to sell platinum, I believe. I can't remember the exact statistic now, but I know that as of '95, I think it was 95, it went gold.
Oh, okay.
Which means 500,000 units were sold in the U.S.
Yeah.
U.S. and U.K. are a little different, I guess. That's also very strange.
Right.
So, you know, so with that being said, okay, so we know that there's like 1 million copies of these floating around, but they vary from obviously pressings from 1989 all the way up to now, 2018. So, what constitutes the value of that record? Because, I mean, if you look up some early Pixies records, maybe not necessarily this one, they can get up there. First pressings of most records, by most, any
for sure,
popular,
especially in like in the 90s era, because everyone was buying CDs.
It's true.
Like,
well, that's the thing, there's less original vinyl from the 90s, because they weren't making as much, because record labels were thinking like, well, this, you know, no one's buying these, why the fuck are we going to make them?
Right.
So you have some truth in that there was a uniqueness to it, but that's what drives prices for just about anything, is the uniqueness of something. Classic cars sell for so much money because they don't make them anymore.
Right.
You know?
There's that limited edition.
But the music's still there.
Right.
Granted, a remastering like this is most likely remastered, and this is also on 180 gram, I'm pretty sure. So the quality on this is going to be a little different. Well, I mean, pretty different from the original release.
Right.
But some people, I guess, that's the maybe one of the driving factors of it is that nostalgia for that original sound, whatever it was, because that was the first pressing, that was the first stereo mix that ever went out.
Yeah.
And I guess that has something to do with it. But like I said, I'm not really completely sure. It's still kind of a mystery to me. But you still price things out. And so one of the things I was going to kind of start to do in this show, because I don't want to have to bring on my own record and pair up what record I find randomly to a guest,
Yeah.
was like, well, why don't I tell you what your record's worth?
Oh, cool.
Just for the fun of it.
Yeah.
Because
It's like Antique Roadshow.
kinda, yeah. I didn't think of that, and now that scares me. But yeah, kind of, because because there's a whole science behind marketing a record, basically. A used record. That's it. That's me. Really, because you could bring this into the record store, obviously, and they'll say, hey, what will you give this for me? And they'll say, oh, we'll give you $4 for that.
Yeah.
Because they're going to turn around and sell it for like 15.
Right, for sure.
Which, that's what you need to do in business.
Right.
Okay, that's the name of the game, really. But as far as a regular person like that doesn't necessarily strive to be a record seller, I think it's kind of nice to know what you have and what it's worth.
Yeah.
Type thing.
Totally.
Like when I found my friend Andy back from episode 3. I went through all of his records at his house because he knew I sold records. And he was just like, I think I want to sell them. Will you come over and just like tell me what I got?
Cool. Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, yeah, sure. And I like look at all his records and it's like, oh god, these are like stacks of like records and like full crates just literally stacked up in a garage, and it's like, this kind of sucks.
Yeah.
But we found some really great stuff, and one of them was that Velvet Underground and Nico record.
Nice.
Which, I mean, as soon as I picked it out, I was just like, oh my god.
Yeah.
And he's just like, what? I'm like, do you realize what you have here? He's just like, no, what? I'm like, it's the Velvet Underground and Nico. He's just like, is that good? I'm like, dude. So I do the research. See, so that's part of the thing about pinpointing like what the value of a record is. Like, I knew just from the title of that record that it was valuable.
Right.
I knew it was old because I could just see it was stuck in these crates with all these other old records. It was just like, okay, this could very well be an original pressing.
Cool.
So I bring it home and I do the research and find out it's the third. What do they call that? It's not third variant. It's third stage.
Okay.
The first record. It's the controversy was that they had originally released it, the first pressings, and on the back was the photo of the band playing live, and there was a projection behind them, and there was that the image of this writer at the time. I don't remember who he was portrayed on that image on the backdrop behind them.
Oh.
And so they've made, I don't know how many pressings of that first record just like that, but they had to discontinue it.
Oh,
And
I didn't know this.
I don't know if they recalled it or they just stopped that production, but they still had some obviously extras that they weren't just going to throw away. So the second stage of that release was that they put a big black sticker over the back, covering his his likeness. Yeah, so it's a big black sticker that says the Velvet Underground and Nico. So that's the manufacturer sticker.
Okay.
So that's the second stage or second fucking, I forget what they call it. So those are also extremely valuable. Both of those extremely valuable.
Yeah.
The third stage was that they airbrushed his image. So it went to a repress, like they repressed the whole jacket, and that's what they started to do. From that point forth, they airbrushed his image so you couldn't really see him.
Oh.
Right, to avoid a lawsuit. Or whatever.
Right.
So that's what he had.
Oh, okay.
And it was actually like in pretty good shape. Like the record played very well.
Nice.
Some crackle to it, some surface noise, I guess is what they call that. But because of the uniqueness of that record and the history behind it and so forth, and the condition of that record itself, which wasn't great, it was a little, had a couple of like splits in the jacket and stuff like that. But even though it had as beat as it was, which wasn't horrible, it still sold for $155.
Nice.
Quickly.
Wow. Yeah, I bet. I
Like
bet.
really quick.
Awesome.
Like too quick.
Wow.
So that leads me to believe, maybe it could have got a little
Yeah.
more. But he said he was happy with it.
That's
and
pretty cool.
That's what happened with that record. But
It's very cool.
But so this is not so unique only because it's a new pressing.
Right,
It just came
for
out,
sure.
180 gram. You can still pretty much find these in the stores.
Yeah.
So, but you know, if you really wanted to resell it at this point today, because obviously you hold on to this for 20 years and maybe it'll increase in its value. You know, somewhere between $12 to $15, $18 maybe.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
no,
is fine.
It's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah. I'm definitely holding on to it. It's not going anywhere.
Oh
so.
yeah. No, I mean it's one of those records that you keep.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Exactly. That's pretty much my record collection. It's I do have a lot of old records from my parents, which actually I would love for you to look at sometime just to see what I have, and then I'm just trying to build a record collection of just my all-time favorite albums. So. Yeah. It's been fun.
I'm rebuilding mine slow too.
Yeah.
Because I've actually sold off my collection twice. So at this point, I'm just like, damn it. I just want to. I prefer doing this, like just kind of getting random records, like records at random, like as much as I can.
Yep.
And then just reselling them because I still get to sit with it and listen to it.
That is cool. I
and
like
research
that.
it.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's kind of fun in that regard.
For sure.
But so my collection that I'm building now is basically just friends' records.
Oh, cool.
Like just records that I'm buying because they're people that I know or
Very
people
cool.
that are specifically people that I like that are putting out records now.
Yeah.
I'm not really going into the back catalog
Sure.
at this point, so.
Sure. Do you go to record stores often?
No,
Yeah.
not really.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I can't find a deal at a record store.
Right. I
But
know.
sometimes, I mean, like you know, with record store day and all that stuff, it's
Yeah.
like it's compelling
Right.
to want to go see what's going on, like kind of what kind of new crazy reissues are happening. Like actually at the local Newbury Comics over here, I went in there once looking for a record, and I came across a new reissue of the Germs record,
Oh, cool.
which I was like, huh. I was surprised how expensive it was.
Oh, I know. They're expensive. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because
Yeah.
that record, that's another one of those records where if you find any copy of it,
Oh, really?
it's like extremely valuable.
Really? I
Yeah.
didn't know that. Okay. But yeah, that makes sense. So.
Yeah. And so that's why I was so surprised, because I was like, this is a reissue. Okay, like
Oh.
granted, okay, it's a new pressing, and it's like some colored vinyl, it's some cute, you know,
Right.
cute packaged record. And it's a record store day special edition,
Sure.
limited press to like maybe 3,000 or something like that. But it was still like, I want to say it was still like $60.
Oh, whoa. Yeah. It's
Like-
really hard for me to buy
Yeah.
records for more than $30 or
No,
so.
I know.
Like, it has to be really special.
Right. But see, but even that still, it's like that's what I'm saying. Is it's like
Yeah.
that's a reissue. Like this record's
Right.
been out in circulation
Yeah.
for decades now.
I think it maybe because it's big records.
It's just
are-
one of those records that
Yeah, just-
people just want it, and because they made some limited edition of it, now it still has that value to it. Because someone will buy that and hold on to that for like
Yeah.
5 years and be
Yeah.
able to flip it for a profit.
Right.
So, but yeah, if you find any Germs records,
Germs. Okay, I'll look out for them. Yeah.
Germs, the one with the big G on it, the
Yeah,
big
yeah.
blue thing,
Okay.
yeah, that's
And
could be hundreds of
I
dollars.
asked for Tom Petty's Wildflower album, I think.
Oh yeah,
And it was so expensive.
Tom Petty's kind of up there too.
Yeah,
A lot of
super.
his
It was like, I
records.
was like, whoa. Like, one of his most popular albums. I was surprised. But,
Mm-hmm.
yes, over 100, I think. I couldn't find
Ooh.
anything less. But,
Wow.
so if you ever find that.
Yeah, I've had a few Tom Petty records. None of, I mean, some that were in like really amazing condition.
Yeah.
But just not his biggest records. Like,
Right.
What's that record? Hard Promises, is it?
That sounds right.
I think it was Hard Promises is the name of that record.
I'm familiar with that record. But,
One
yeah.
with- One with the Stevie Nicks song on it.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
one didn't sell for a lot, and it was a like really amazing original release.
Nice.
Yeah, sold for like $12.
But yeah, I think it was
$12.
Wildflower. That Wildflowers. Is that
Yeah.
the name of the album?
Oh, Full Night Fever and stuff like that.
Yeah.
those will
Yeah.
go for a good amount.
I was surprised.
Yeah.
So even even if they reissue that, it's gonna be expensive too, probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
Plus, because Tom Petty's gone now too.
Yeah.
So Bowie's up there, like
Yeah.
skyrocket in
Yeah.
value. Tom Petty's skyrocketing in value.
Cool. I've got a Bowie album. Got a couple Bowie albums.
Mhm.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
holding on to those.
Yeah, if you score those cheap, that's
Yeah.
a good find.
Cool.
So let's get into Pixies.
Yeah.
All right. And this was your first record that you listened to by them?
Yes. Yeah.
So what did you follow it up with?
Surfer Rosa. And Bossa Nova. And then
Yeah.
Trompe le Monde.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your rating system?
Pretty much that, actually.
In
yeah.
that order?
Yeah, Surfer Rosa is definitely next. Yeah. Yeah. Bossa Nova and Trompe le Monde. Come On Pilgrim I'm not so familiar with, but I definitely have listened to it.
It's basically demos of Surfer Rosa.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think...
Yeah, I can't even think of what's on it, to tell you the truth, so it must be
Yeah.
just a mix of bunch of stuff.
Yeah. Well, because Come On Pilgrim was basically an official release after the Purple tapes, like their demos. So they
okay.
recorded like...
That makes sense.
They recorded basically like 17 songs, I think, or
okay.
19 songs.
Okay.
And then that was like that infamous, like hard to find Purple Tapes demo tape that was
Right.
floating around. And that's when 4AD got hold of them and then released Come On Pilgrim. They basically took 8 songs out of that
That makes sense.
that demo session.
I see.
And then some of those songs still went on to get recut for Surfer Rosa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's basically like a demo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I don't think of it. And then, was that it for that? What else did they do? Anything else?
As far as full releases are concerned, I think that's it.
Yeah.
They had 4 studio
Right,
records. Because then after that came like, B-sides releases
Yeah.
and the best of and,
Right.
Death to the Pixies and all that stuff.
Right, I didn't listen to any of those.
Just basically compilations.
Yeah.
But their B-sides are so good.
Yeah, for sure. I've listened to some of their B-sides,
Well, they have a whole record of just their B-sides. I don't know what happened there.
That has like, does that have UMass on it? Like
No, Trompe le Monde is
Oh,
UMass.
right, Trompe le Monde.
But because they had just so many good B-sides, like they had all these songs, like what was that song called that they basically just did live, and it became so popular that they eventually did a live recording of it and released it as a B-side.
Nice.
Into the White, I think it's called.
Oh, okay, sure. That
Is
sounds
it based on some David Lynch film or something?
Oh, probably.
Right?
Yeah, probably. That sounds familiar. I'll have to revisit the B-sides. I haven't listened to that in a long time.
It's a pretty solid record, really.
Yeah,
considering it's a
I'm sure.
compilation of all these.
Yeah, I love B-sides. They're the best. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're so fun. But I think this is like such a great first song for this record.
What's going on with this thing? It's probably my preamp. Rella.
He's so creepy.
He is.
So good.
In a good way, though, huh?
Oh yeah.
Like you wouldn't mind if this guy was the same.
No. Have you ever seen the Pixies?
No. I kind of am trying to make a conscious effort to not see reunion shows.
Yeah. I just like even back in the 2000s
Oh,
or
no,
the 90s. Or...
No, I'm not that old.
But you were, I mean, you were a teenager in the 90s, right? You could have gone to a Pixies show.
I'm not that old.
Really?
When they broke up, I was 12.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, it would have been great if I could have, but...
yeah, you're right. You're not that old. That's right.
When I was growing up, like, I wanted to go out to shows, and I couldn't.
Yeah, me too.
My parents wouldn't allow me to go.
Me too, yeah.
Yeah, so unfortunately I missed out on a lot just because of that.
Yeah.
But I started playing in bands when I was 15.
Ah, nice.
So I did start going out to shows.
Yeah.
But I thought that was weird. Track 3?
Yeah.
That wasn't exactly right, but hey, it's all going to shit anyway, so... Jesus Christ.
There.
Sorry, Kate.
Yeah, it's alright, just ruining everything.
There we go.
Sounds good.
Did I blow your eardrum out?
Yeah,
Sorry.
I can't sing anymore.
You can't sing anymore?
No.
I've ruined your career. I might as well just like cut off a finger.
Right. Because then I won't be able to play.
Exactly.
Okay.
If you wanted me to really ruin your
right,
career.
Right, that's what
Yeah.
you had me here for, to ruin my career.
Yeah, let's just get dark. Let's just get, into the real gruesomeness of reality.
Right. I mean,
So I can have you here in my shed and I can chop off some of your limbs.
Chop me up. That's what Frank
right.
Black would do.
Sounds that way, at least.
Yeah.
Whether he really would or not. He seems like a nice enough
Yeah,
guy.
I mean, he's a dad, so I guess. I guess that doesn't mean much these days. Never mind. I saw him with his kids. He was really sweet with his kids.
Which famous serial killers were parents?
All of them.
Well, Ted Bundy became a parent after incarceration.
Yeah,
that's a little sad.
Yeah, that was sad.
And weird.
He was such a nice guy, too.
Yeah, clearly.
So handsome, so charming.
Yeah. Sociopathic, yeah.
Yeah.
Wave of Mutilation, speaking of death. Do you know where that kind of originates from, the inspiration for that song?
Was it from a book or something? Wave of Mutilation. What was that from? What is
Well, I think that
he talks about like a guy
driving off a cliff,
yeah.
right? Japanese people, and I'm going to say this wrong, but something about like a Japanese culture, and I guess imagining something along the lines of like the shame in one's life or something. You fail at something, you go you go past that point of shame where you actually put your whole family in the car and you drive off a cliff.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah. So I think that's very loosely, what that song is kind of about.
Oh, freaky.
Yeah.
So happy I'm not Japanese.
Yeah. It almost makes me appreciate that UK surf version more.
Yeah. Wait, say that again?
There's the UK surf version of Wave of Mutilation.
Oh, yeah.
It's just a little kind of more mellow.
Right.
Yeah.
I know, Wave of Mutilation. I remember just like listening to that song and being like, what is he talking about? And I'm just picturing this ocean wave, and I'm just like, mutilation, like, wow.
Well, so I've never been one for lyrics. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm all about lyrics. That's what I listen to first, and then I hear everything else underneath. So yeah, because I think of the ocean, and I'm like, oh, that's like my happy place. That's a peaceful place I go to, and like I love swimming. I love whatever. I grew up swimming in the ocean, and then so. When I heard Wave of Mutilation and like looked at the lyrics, I was like, oh, okay. Thanks for ruining the ocean for me, Frank Black.
But it's got to bring a certain reality to it. Even if in your interpretation, you're just foreseeing it as like the actual, lyrical interpretation of the ocean.
Right.
But the ocean is a really fucking dark, dangerous,
totally.
mysterious place.
We only see the coast,
Yeah.
We see the happy summer days. Yeah.
It's miles deep, and it's less explored than outer space.
Right. Yeah.
So there's things in our ocean that we have no idea about what's happening.
Right. And apparently there's a lot of Japanese cars and families in there somewhere off the coast of Japan.
Yeah, probably sunk down deep, somewhere.
Yikes.
Never to be seen again.
Full of shame.
Yeah, well, hey, it's better down there than up here.
Yeah, right.
Keep that shame out of here.
Yeah, we don't, right. See that shame.
Yeah. I was doing some research on the Pixies, obviously, to prepare for you coming over and bringing Doolittle. I watched the video for this. Have you seen the video for this recently?
No.
It's a little strange, of course.
Of course, yeah. What are they doing?
Well, the biggest thing that I took away from it that I think is really funny was that is it this song, Here Comes Your Man, or is it? Yeah, I think it's this song. So they're performing live, basically. I know this is gonna fucking kill me. I don't know why it's doing that.
Yeah.
They're performing live on a soundstage. Pretty clear it's a soundstage. Look completely like just emotionless. All of them. They're all just like fairly dead-eyed.
Mhm.
And they're just going through the motions of playing. And when the lyrics kick in, he just opens his mouth. It's like, yeah, because I think it's just kind of one of those things where he really didn't care about the whole commercialism of music.
Right.
So it's just like, I'm playing my song.
Oh, funny. That's awesome. That's I could picture that happening.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
It's a pretty fun video. I mean,
yeah, I'll look
it's
that
very
up.
lo-fi now in today's standards. But
Oh, I know, right? It's crazy.
yeah, I think it's a song. I don't know if I'm getting confused with another one, but
Yeah,
because it wasn't Monkey Gone to Heaven.
Oh,
That's for
gosh.
sure.
Or Gigantic.
It wasn't Gigantic. Gigantic's not on this record.
Oh right. I always think this is Gigantic.
Easily
for some
confusable
reason.
because Gil Norton actually did produce Gigantic.
Oh yeah, and
off
it
the
was
first
like kind
record.
of a hit. It was.
Oh, yeah.
It was their hit.
Yeah, actually, that was their biggest hit off Surfer Rosa.
Right.
Um,
And Where Is Your Mind?
I don't think Where Is Your Mind was a hit because I don't think it was released as a single.
Right. It just became so popular
It
after
did,
Fight
yeah.
Club.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
That's what
probably
happens.
why a lot of their albums are doing so well, because people found out about them when they saw Fight Club.
I wonder. I mean, because I think that they're like the mythology of the Pixies had already kind of grown so much.
True. Yeah.
And I mean, and that record is considered to be one of the, in so many influential people's like top tens.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just an amazing masterpiece of a record, really, that so many people, so many influential people have just considered to be a masterpiece. It's transcended all that. It's just
Right.
like it's just one of those records you need to know about.
Oh, true, totally. Yeah.
And that song, that song just sticks out of that record.
Yeah.
A sore thumb, I think, really, in a good way.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's always hit me.
Oh, totally.
I'm a softie for a kind of a moving song, like kind of a.
Oh, yeah.
And that's one of those that just does it.
Yeah.
So
For sure.
that's just my sappy take on it.
No, absolutely.
My
I
sappy
was so
dad.
excited. Like, so I knew that song, and then when I saw Fight Club, I was like, okay, this is a cool movie, whatever. I'm kind of indifferent about a lot of movies, and I think it's the very last scene they do that song, yeah. And I just got so excited. I was like, yes, they chose the perfect song for this scene, and I just liked the music, the movie rather, 10 times more after that, and I was like, oh, I really hope this gets people to know more about the Pixies if they, for some reason, don't already know them.
I fucking hate you.
Yeah, right. And I love the...
Just in case people were wondering that were listening, I didn't just say I fucking hate you to Kate.
Right,
I was
he did. He
He
did.
did. But, you're so hateable.
Right. I am. I can...
You have a lot of stories about being hated on?
Yeah,
I bet.
totally.
Everyone has at least one.
Related, not, I wasn't hated, but, when I was listening to this, it was like a terrible time in music. It was just like all pop.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Just, kids, it was just like boy bands and Britney Spears, and it was awful. And, so I would try to show friends or people would say, what's your favorite band? And they'd think I'd say like a boy band or something, and I'd be like, the Pixies? And they'd be like, what is that? And then I'd get hated on and be called a freak.
Yeah. So the Pixies, is that kind of like Spice Girls?
Yeah, right.
Something like that.
Yeah, and then I'd be like, that's what it is. They'd be like, why haven't I heard of them?
Because you're not cool. You suck.
Yeah. I just love how Oh, I just love, like, it goes from, like, Dead to Hey to I Bleed. Like, that's pretty metal right there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
This so this isn't in order, huh? The lyrics on this?
No, it is not.
Weird. These weird bastards. Why do they make,
I know,
why do
they make
things
it
more
so
difficult?
complicated. And then you have to find them on the record itself because they're all scattered. Because the first 7 are on this side.
Oh, really?
And then the rest of them are on the back.
Huh.
But it makes you look at the whole album and...
Oh, yeah. Oh, I never noticed that before. Weird. Sorry, I didn't mean to take that from you. But
Yeah, I was looking at that. It's my album. No,
go ahead, you can say it. I hate you too.
I fucking hate you. Right. Oh, yeah. No, I just love... Yeah. And it was just fun listening to this, and, like, my mom would, like, hear us listening to this, and she'd be like, that sounds like a fun album, and we'd be like, yeah. Because, like, if you hear it from a distance, it's just kind of, like...
Right. You're not really paying attention, and you're not necessarily seeing all this. Like,
right.
Like the bell with the fucking teeth in it.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And this part, I love this part. When
You think he's a religious man?
No. This part, I love his scream there.
I
I
know.
love rocking out to this in my car.
Are you a good screamer?
Oh yeah.
You try to incorporate that into some of your songs?
Yeah. No, not yet anyway.
Yeah.
No, I gotta save my vote. I don't know how to properly scream, so I probably shouldn't, but...
Yeah.
When I was, like, angsty, 20-something-year-old, I would scream a lot in my car to songs like this, though, so that was fun.
And you realize that you just shred your vocals?
Yeah, and then I'd be like, okay, shouldn't do that.
Can't talk anymore?
Yeah, probably shouldn't do that.
Can't talk anymore.
Yeah.
Stuff like this.
Yeah, now I got a smoker's voice.
Yeah, I have that same problem. Like, obviously I don't raise my voice often.
Right.
And if I do, I can't talk afterwards.
Right.
Like, it's just my voice becomes shredded and like it hurts and all that stuff.
That's it. It's tough being a singer because like you go to the bar before your show and everyone's trying to talk to you, and I'm always like, don't talk to me. I have to save
I gotta save it up.
voice. Yeah. Wow. So we listened to it.
The first half, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's a quick record. I mean,
It is a quick record.
That actually reminds me of some of the other facts. Gil Norton, the producer, wanted to kind of draw out some of these parts, some of these songs, so therefore making them a little longer.
Oh, really?
And good old Chuck fought him on it, basically.
Yeah, good.
Showed him a copy of Buddy Holly's Greatest Hits. And he was just like, not one of these songs is more than 2 minutes and 30
Totally,
seconds.
that's so true. Yeah.
Yeah, good pop songs don't need to be long at all.
No. I know, that always happens with mine.
It's a little tight in that.
Yeah.
I just don't want to snap it in half.
Yeah, just break the record. It's alright.
This record sucks anyway.
I know.
So you have problems with this yourself?
I
at
do.
home?
Not that bad. I usually can get it eventually, but...
I don't know if I'm just being too ginger with it, but it's not mine, so I'm trying to...
Just go for it.
Jesus Christ.
I don't usually have that much of a problem, but I've definitely had problems. I thought I broke it.
I'm being a real wuss.
I thought I broke it in a little bit. It used to be that bad, and now...
And now it's still that bad. Just play it like that.
Yeah, just do that. That's how you play a record. Ooh.
That's a bad warp. Look at that.
Yeah. What if I brought in the record that way?
That was warped that bad?
Yeah, if
Oh,
I brought
man.
in a super warped record. Yeah.
Be like, that's got no value whatsoever. You might as well just throw that out. Throw that in the trash.
And then I'd cry, and no one would listen to your podcast anymore because they'd heard that you made Kate Mick cry.
How many people do you think really want to hear you cry? A good number of people? Is
Oh
it like,
yeah.
Just make herself heard.
No, a good number have already seen me cry, so
Oh, well, we're in good company then.
Yeah.
I'm going to grab another beer. Would you like one?
Sure, yeah.
All right.
Why not?
You can continue on with that speech. I'm still listening.
Oh, yeah.
You're a crybaby?
Oh, yeah, sure.
You're a sad sap?
Ever since I was a kid.
Oh, I am too. I
Yeah.
very well might have some actual legitimate mental problems that I
Oh,
have not
totally.
addressed.
Totally. Absolutely you do. No,
Yeah.
no, I don't know you. I was more like saying totally, yeah. I think most people do. And,
Yeah.
and I think if people allowed themselves to cry, everyone would be like a blubbering slob all the time.
Right. But do you think that maybe you have more problems if you can't help but to cry? Because I know that there's plenty of people that suppress.
Right.
There are plenty of people that
Right.
won't even acknowledge that they actually, in fact, are sad or depressed.
Right. I think they have more problems.
Probably.
Yeah, because they're suppressing them. When you allow your emotions to, like, be what they are, it's probably healthier in the long run, but it's quite exhausting and, it's very exhausting and can definitely affect,
Mhm.
the people around you too, so that's no good. But it's probably healthier in the long run.
I think it's good to acknowledge your feelings. I think it's good to acknowledge your depression if you're depressed.
Totally, yeah.
I might bask in it a little bit
Sure.
more than I need to.
Sure. Yeah.
No, I think I used to.
Yeah.
I used to be very into my sadness. Now, not so much.
Right. Now,
Now-
do you write songs?
I used to.
You used to. Okay.
Yeah, I kind of don't do it anymore.
Yeah.
I
Just-
actually just started thinking about it again, but
Yeah.
just thinking about it.
Do you not do it anymore just because you?
My kids hate
Yeah.
me. My
Yeah.
kids hate my music, so I really don't feel comfortable playing in my own house.
That's terrible. They can't hate it.
No,
They
kids
hate
suck.
it. I know. I'm not having any.
Good for you.
I have.
The world's overpopulated anyway.
Yeah. No, that's actually my biggest reason. But
Yeah.
then I have other reasons too. But
Well, the other reason that you should consider, I mean, obviously you don't need any help, but some of the thing that people don't tell you is that you have a child or two, and then you realize that
they hate you.
they hate you, but you live in fear of anything ever happening to them for the rest of your life.
I bet that's terrifying.
Yeah, because the last thing any parent ever wants to ever have to deal with is dealing with their child's
That's
death.
super scary. Yeah.
Yeah.
For like, or you outliving your child.
Yeah.
And that's the saddest thing in the world. And yeah, I absolutely love hanging out with my friends' kids and leaving.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I don't want anything to happen to them, but ultimately, I won't feel like it's my fault.
That's true too. That's another
Right.
mind fuck.
Right.
Is like, don't happen on my watch.
Right.
Let your mother call me with the
Right.
bad news.
Right.
Don't make this my
That's
fault.
awful. Yeah. So it's actually, so I can see why, like, for so many years people, forever, people say, oh, it's kind of selfish not to have children, and I can see that because it gives you peace of mind. But I think it's becoming selfish to have children because the world is overpopulated.
Yeah.
And there's just so many kids that don't have homes. I think as I get older, I will get bored of myself eventually and be like, okay, like, maybe I should, like, take care of something other than my cats.
A plant.
Like a plant. No,
Trees.
I would totally love to foster a kid or adopt a kid someday, but I want to make sure, like, I'm 100% in.
Oh yeah.
Like, I don't want to be. That's not something you're wishy-washy about.
Right.
So.
Yeah, there could possibly be more guilt behind, the death of a of a foster child more than your biological child.
Yeah. but there's also a lot of, I think there should be more like pride. I mean, I don't know.
The pride in killing your child if it's not your biological child?
No. I mean, taking care of a child that isn't yours. Being able to take
no. You're
being
completely
able
right.
to like love a child that isn't biologically yours.
Oh yeah, no. There's no more noble thing.
Yeah.
And I mean that very sincerely, even though we're getting really dark.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. I mean.
And like not letting it get hit by a bus. You know?
Yeah.
And so. Anyway, it's a complicated issue, and I don't mean to guilt anyone about having kids. If you want a kid, you need to have kids. Like
no, you don't need to. But go ahead.
Well, it's like you
Do
don't
it
want to
anyway.
wake up when you're like 50 and be like, oh, I
You're
wish
not
I
going to
had a
listen
kid.
to me anyway. Go
Right.
ahead and have your children.
But at least do you listen to music with your kids?
I try. Yeah. I have records playing constantly. All day long.
Okay, so that's
Basically.
good. They'll have a great upbringing with that. I think whatever music you are playing for them, it is going to get locked into their brain somehow. Like somewhere in their subconscious it's going to be there, and they might deny it for a while, but they might like wake up like in their 20s and be like, oh, this stuff was cool, and like I think so.
My dad was all right.
Yeah, like I don't know, he was trying to show us the good stuff. You know, they're just probably trying to find their thing. You know, they want it to be theirs. They don't like. I'm sure their friends like don't listen to their parents' music. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think maybe that's the thing. Like, so as soon as they're like as soon as they can find friends that they relate to, and those friends can say, "Hey, I heard about this band Radiohead," be like, "Oh, that's the shit I was listening to when I was a baby."
Yep. Yeah.
You know, and then they'll be like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
Then maybe one day they'll be like, "Hey, Dad, do you know Radiohead?"
And you'll be like, "Yes, I do."
I do. I only like their first 3 records.
Oh. Yeah, right. And yeah, so don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll get in their brain somehow, all the good music. And
yeah, eventually, somehow. Or music's not their thing. I don't know. People don't like music, right? There's some people out there.
Weird.
Sounds weird to me.
Kids are weird if that's what
My
happens.
kids are probably weird. You're probably right.
Like, have you ever like asked someone like, does anyone ever? Are you ever like, what kind of music are you into? And they're like, I don't listen to music.
Yeah.
Do people do that? I think if someone said that to me, I'd be like, okay, bye.
I think some people, they don't say they don't listen to music. They're just like, oh, I listen to whatever's on the radio.
Oh God, yeah, that's what it is.
It's like, oh, so you don't have a brain.
Right. So you have no opinion about things.
So wait, you had said earlier that that you inherited your mom's records.
A little bit.
Some of it?
My mom's and my dad's. Yeah. And I was I went through a huge like throw everything out phase a couple years ago. So I sold a lot of them actually to the Daltrys at What Cheer.
Oh.
And I don't think there's anything too special in there. It was a lot of like they weren't in great shape. It was a lot of like Led Zeppelin and The Who and Rolling Stones, so all really good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept all my mom's Beatles records, which is good, and then a few other ones that I really like, some Joni Mitchell, and I know there's some weird ones too in there that I still have to wrap my head around, like some strange, like obscure, like late 70s stuff.
Like the Mahavishnu Orchestra or something like that?
Yeah, I don't know. There's
Those
some
are good.
weird ones in there. I don't think that was in there, but I'll look that up later.
Maybe. So you had like hippie parents, like 60s
totally.
era?
Yeah, they were, totally. They were 60s.
Who knows? They might have gotten stoned and listened to Mahavishnu Orchestra.
Probably, yeah. There's some, and they had great taste in music, and I was brought up on the Beatles and all the good stuff that surrounds that. And I never was really resistant to it. Maybe in like high school when I was like, I want to listen to rock, and I just want to rock, and so I just like stay in my room and I had
You're
my
like
own
Twisted Sister.
Yeah, I was listening to
I want to rock.
I want to rock. Yeah, that's what I was doing. No, I was just Actually, I was listening to a lot of Jewel.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that was like middle school.
That's your inspiration, isn't
yeah.
it?
Yeah, I just
I
want
can
to be
see
Jewel.
it now.
Yeah. I think she was like the first one where I was like, I think it might have been one of the first CDs I bought for myself. You know, I had bought like Ace of Base in 5th grade or something, but then I was like, oh, let's listen to this sad lady.
This sad, pretty, angelic sounding lady.
Yeah, that I kind of relate to, even though I'm not angelic. And then, yeah, and then after that it was, yeah, middle school was like a lot of like Everclear and Third Eye Blind and Green Day and all that stuff. And I was still looked upon as kind of a weirdo for listening to that stuff, because a lot of my friends were listening to the boy bands and all the pop crap. And then in high school I got more into Nirvana, Pixies, a lot of college radio stuff, Echo and the Bunnymen, and the Eels, and then like, I don't know, just
Eels I only got into recently, actually.
Yeah, they're great. Yeah, they got a lot of stuff out there too, and yeah, well, I could go on and on about all that music, but
okay.
Yeah.
Let's continue with this record.
Yeah, let's do it.
Side 2.
Side 2.
Doolittle. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's a little hard with the left hand. I know. So.
Oh, left hand. Yeah.
Yeah, you try doing anything with your left hand, okay? You're right-handed, right?
I'm left-handed. No.
Well, try with your right.
No, I'm right-handed. I'm right-handed, but I play banjo with my left.
Are you serious?
No. I'm not.
Why are you fucking with me, Kate?
I don't know.
That's cool. I love how demented he sounds.
Yeah.
When he sings. I wish I had that in me, to like be that kind of like demented.
Yeah, right. I know. You wonder what he was thinking. So so you asked earlier. Oh, you think he's religious? And I know he was brought up, of course, like we all probably are. I know he was brought up with Catholicism, I believe. So he has all those creepy religious lyrics, which I love.
There's definitely a lot of overtones, some direct references, obviously. I mean, like, you know, if you do the research on this record, how there are some songs that are kind of like direct relations to what is it called, Samson Goliath?
Oh, yeah.
The Whore of Babylon.
Yeah, the whore song. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, the whore song.
The whore song.
I got so excited when you said that. It's
yeah.
weird.
That's my song.
For those that are listening, I'm sorry that the music keeps on dropping out. I don't know why.
Oh,
they'll
listen to the music too? They can hear the music in
the audio, you're going to hear the music. In the video, that gets cut out.
Right.
So the video could give a fuck less. They don't care.
Right.
But yeah, on the audio stream, I'm assuming that that's not going to cut out. I got this new recorder. When I was recording on the computer, sometimes it would clip. The music would be too loud, and it would just automatic clipping to avoid distortion. And it would drop out in our headphones, but it was still recording it.
Right.
I don't know if that's happening with this now.
Right.
Paco Pico Piedra. I do like the Spanish influence too.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes incorporate some Spanish words.
Yeah. He has that. Is it on Surfer Rosa? Is the Javelina?
Oh no.
No,
that's a B-side, I think.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. I love that song.
But yeah, they have Surfer Rosa's got Vamos on it.
Oh,
Vamos a la Playa.
Yeah.
And a couple of other songs. What else is there? A couple of other like Spanish things in there.
Yeah, it is kind of annoying that they don't have all the lyrics on here. They only have certain songs. But,
oh yeah, this song, Crackety Jones. So, I guess this was based on It was based on his foreign studies roommate.
Oh, really?
So when he had gone to Puerto Rico to do some like overseas studying, he got stuck with a roommate that I guess he based that song about. So that part where he says like chasing voices,
Whoa.
and like this guy was just like this I can't remember the exact.
See.
Can't remember exactly what it says, but it's some
Funny.
weird like.
So that's where it was maybe kind of Spanish
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah, I guess so. Actually, I didn't even think about that.
I love this song. It's just like this weird surf song. It's like
Right. Yeah, Francis's roommate is in his student exchange trip to San Juan, Puerto Rico, who he described as weird psycho gay roommate.
Oh, awesome! Wow.
Yeah, like, and there was another story, like it went into more details somewhere about some of the examples of that. Like, yeah, like he was like just freaking out all the
Yeah.
time, and like, you know, like in the lyrics, you know, like chasing voices. Like,
Yeah.
okay.
Imagine having to have this weirdo as your
I kind of wish I did. You know, it's just
Yeah.
like you kind of have to draw inspiration from some
Yeah,
things.
that's
and,
your muse. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's I don't think that's Frank Black singing "Right, La La Love You."
No, it's Dave Lovering, the
yeah,
drummer.
the drummer. Yeah, I love his voice. It's so deep and
Yeah.
it's like Sinatra or something. It's like, what?
Yeah, this band had so many things that, not knowing anything about them and just listening to the music, kind of like made you like wonder about a lot of things.
Yeah, totally.
Like, I noticed that's something that I do a lot when I listen to a band for the first time, is like when I hear the singer, I always wonder, it's like, what do they look like?
Totally. You kind of picture them
Yeah.
first. It's almost like reading a book. Like you kind of imagine.
Yeah, what
Them
the characters
first,
would be like,
yeah.
all that. But, you know, so it's like, it's kind of weird to think now, knowing what Frank Black looks like.
Yeah.
Like,
I think that's why. Maybe that's why I was kind of shocked when I wasn't convinced it was him when I saw him in the museum. Like
He was
I
so
had
normal
seen.
looking?
Yeah, I was, because I had a picture of what I had in my head of him, and of course I had seen him like on TV and actual images of him, but I was like, can't be that normal. But yeah, this song always gets in my head. I don't know why it's so good.
it's very catchy.
It's yeah.
There's something dark about that song, too, though, that I was
I'm
reading about.
Sure, yeah. La La Love You.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah. And
The whistling.
yeah, it's like super creepy. And I think that song Kim helped write. Cause she sings a lot of it too. So that's cool. I wonder where she got that.
That's the slide guitar, were you saying? What was it?
I think Kim does play slide guitar on that, but she helped write that song.
I
But-
think it's one of her only co-writing
Yeah.
credits on this record.
Yeah.
Frank Black was making a point to kind of push her out
Oh, really?
of
Yeah.
the whole writing process.
Oh, okay.
Like-
he wanted it to be all his songs, yeah.
Yeah. I think it was this record was the last time that she ever got a
Yeah.
credit.
I wonder why. Why can't he just share it?
They
But they were.
there's that theory that remember how you said earlier how Gigantic was a hit?
Yeah.
That was her song.
Right.
So you're releasing a record for the first time that's getting any traction whatsoever, and the song that everybody picks up on is not the song that you wrote.
I know.
That's bound to like kind of twist the knife a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah.
So I have a feeling that has something to do with it.
Yeah.
I also have a feeling, this is a theory, of course,
Yeah.
that I have no evidence of whatsoever, that they probably had some kind of affair.
Yeah.
I think there's some talk about them having an affair
Yeah,
somewhere.
sure.
around. So that's not. It's
Yeah.
never been, vetted at all. So with it just being speculation, I think it's fair to say because, unfortunately, sex ruins everything.
Right.
You know, it's just
Yeah,
like
when you're working together, yeah.
especially when you're working together and you're like in a relationship, like
Right.
being in a band and doing music,
Right.
that can really have a negative effect on
Totally.
your ability to keep on creating together.
Right.
So I think that has something to do with it. So with
I'm
her
sure,
getting
yeah.
that credit so early on into the career, and
Yeah.
then if sex was involved,
Right.
and it kind of like made things sour, like that
And
may
I
have
mean,
made
they
it
both
worse.
have pretty dominant personalities.
Oh, yeah.
Especially Kim.
And they're obviously gifted songwriters,
Right.
so
Right. Yeah.
that's my theory.
Yeah, that sounds about right. And yeah, I know she had like her breakdown and all that, but yeah, you would hope that you could put egos aside and just be like, cool, no. No.
No, I guess not, unfortunately.
Yeah, guess especially if it's your livelihood.
Yeah, I mean, livelihood is a stretch
Yeah.
for them at this point in their career.
Right,
But but yeah, I mean, when it's the thing in your life, I mean,
right.
unfortunately, it seems like when you're in a band, especially when you're in a band that you're trying to be successful at, that's everything.
Right.
You know, it's just like you don't have a job to go back to. You
Right.
don't want to go back to a job. You just want to
Right.
make this work.
Right.
And I can kind of speak from experience a little bit because I was in a band with a woman that I ended up breaking up with, and that made things very horrible.
Yeah.
And that's why I ended
Yeah.
up quitting ultimately. I mean,
Yeah.
there was a couple of factors, but that was one of them for sure.
Sure, it adds that much more
It's just tension,
tension. Yep.
and not even just like not just in a sexual tension type of way,
Right.
Where it's just like
Just emotional tension.
yeah,
Yeah.
just because
Yeah, it gets
everything
messy.
gets everything gets immersed in that, and like, you know, you have to see them all the time. It's just like sometimes when you break up with somebody, you don't want to see them.
Yeah, that's the only way you get over them usually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, and then you have to see like who they're hanging out with and like
Right.
who they're talking to and what
Right.
they're doing. It's just like
Yeah,
I'd really
that's
rather not be
draining.
here.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But I'm glad Kim has the breeders and is doing so well with that. And
yeah. I mean, I think realistically, like when she got off into the breeders, like she, in all senses, like eclipsed the Pixies.
yeah,
You know, until just recently, and that was
Right.
probably have to do with them reuniting.
right.
So, yeah, I think the Pixies, the breeders were such a better like successful side project.
Yeah,
Because even Frank Black and the Catholics and or his solo work, just like that
Yeah.
really didn't get much traction. I don't think.
no, it didn't. Yeah,
He always had to play under that shadow of like, yeah, I fronted the Pixies.
Right. Yeah. While Kim, it was like, I made my own band, you know, and yeah.
Yeah, and she didn't have to, she didn't have to shed the weight of I was part of the Pixies.
Right.
Most people
right.
didn't even know or care.
Right.
It seemed like the Breeders became this band that was just a band.
Right.
And it was just like, oh, they're cool.
Yeah.
It's just like no one really thought, or I can only say that most likely it wasn't like connection necessarily directly
Right.
being like, oh, she was part of the Pixies and I love them so much I want to listen to the Breeders.
Right. Yeah.
They were kind of just like,
Oh, this is the horse song. I think they almost named this song Whore. And
Oh, yeah.
then yeah.
this is one directly kind of related to the Whore of Babylon.
Yeah.
No, they want to name the record Whore.
Oh, is that what it was? I remember reading something about that. Yeah. Okay, but they named it Doolittle instead.
Yeah. That was I think a happy meeting,
Yeah.
middle ground.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think realistically, I don't think this would be as successful if it was called
Right.
Whore.
It's true. Yeah.
So
That's,
it was probably one of those last minute decisions that
yeah.
was probably for the best.
Right. For sure.
But yeah, the Pixies, the Breeders, I mean, kind of like seem to be like almost like in the same chronology as chronology as the Pixies, because they were also on 4AD. their first records also still had the same look. I don't know if it was the same artist exactly, but they still had that same. It had the same similar presence,
Right,
package-wise.
Right, it was like familiar.
Yeah,
It was like, oh, this is definitely related to the Pixies
Right.
somehow, and
Yeah. So even if you didn't know or make the connections, I think that it just kind of fell into the same camp of like the 4AD family, this kind of really really cool indie rock music, college rock music, if that's what you want to call it. And I think that's kind of like where a lot of their success came from.
Yeah.
Because technically they had started before the Pixies broke up, I think.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see her kind of being like, I want to do my own thing and getting a band together. Do you know how like the Pixies all met? Were they just all from Boston and they all?
Well, Frank Black and Joey Santiago first met at UMass.
Oh, okay.
I believe they were roommates, dorm mates, I think. And they basically, met.
Yeah.
Became friends.
Cool.
Started working on music together. And then the story is that after a few years of kind of just like messing around together and working on some music, Frank Black eventually put up flyers, basically looking for a bass player.
Yeah.
So the story supposedly goes that it said something along the lines of like looking for a bass player that is influenced by Peter, Paul and Mary and Husker Du.
Really? Oh, okay.
And she responded to the ad.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Having those influences, I suppose, but also did not know how to play bass.
Oh, really?
Nor have a bass.
Oh, I didn't know this.
So
she just was like, I like those bands.
Yeah.
I can do this. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's a little ballsy.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
That's another amazing bass player that didn't know how to play bass for their first recording.
Right. And it's so present in their albums too, that bass I find.
She's a pretty good bass player.
Yeah.
I don't find it to be unique.
No, I just find it very like strong and present.
Yeah.
Like she's not timid about it.
No, I wouldn't. No, she's just not a timid woman.
No, yeah.
I think I've actually had this argument with my sister-in-law once about like female musicians.
Yeah.
Which we were really drunk at the time.
Yeah.
But I came off as being very very misogynistic, I guess.
Oh, what'd you say?
Well, because I just didn't like. I never really found much interest in like the whole Lilith Fair thing.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, like Sarah McLachlan and some of those other like female or singer-songwriters just never really did it for me.
Yeah.
And it's because like they all had that same feel to it.
Sure.
It was always, and I think it's something along those lines that I had said to her. It was just like they all play like the same style of music in like the same way. They all sing the same. It's like this airy, like
feminine,
like
folky rock.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's all like sad, like why don't you love me music.
Yeah.
Instead of like having any kind of like real like depth or meaning to it.
Sure. Yeah.
There's nothing,
or something new, something original. Yeah.
So but I had some examples of like women performers that I knew that I admired and I thought were amazing at playing like rock music, because I was just like, I think that was also one of my arguments was this is like, well, why don't women just like fucking like rock? Like why can't they just like own their instrument and just
rock
like really?
Why do they feel they need to be kind of
so dainty and like because like even the stance of some women, like when they play the guitar, like they kind of like play it really high, and you can see how this like they're just barely touching the strings,
right.
Like they never like get into it. Like you see all these guys and you see them just like fucking pulling strings and like and you don't see women doing that. So there's one woman I really love who I actually met 90. I think I met her in '98. She was in this band called First Lie that opened up for the band I was in at the time.
Okay.
Or I'm sorry, we opened up for them at the Old Met. And she blew my mind. Yeah. Because she was the opposite of all of that stuff.
Awesome. Yeah. The first time you see a woman like rock out, you're like, holy shit.
I mean, and like,
awesome. I want to be that.
Like her singing was like amazing and like so like just like kind of guttural. Like she just like she really let it out, and you could see it in her performance. She fucking played a Gibson Les Paul.
Nice.
And she just fucking rocked the thing. She was riding
Yeah.
it low, so
Yeah.
she's like playing it
Nice.
like so down low. She's like ripping these solos.
Nice.
She's just shredding the thing
Yeah.
apart. I was just like, she is fucking
That's
amazing.
awesome. What
Yeah.
was that band name? Or?
First Light. It's the only record they ever put out.
Okay. All right.
But her name is Jen Turner.
Okay. Cool.
And she actually, I believe she went on to start playing bass for this, I can't remember the name of that band now. I'm going to mess it up. Shit, what's their name?
It's okay. I know.
It's one of those weird names like, you know how like in the early 2000s there was like Clap Your Hands, Say Yeah, and stuff like that. All these bands with long fucking names.
Yeah.
It was
Okay.
one of those bands.
Okay.
And I can't remember the name
That's
of it
okay.
for the life of me right now.
Yeah. In the moment, you can
Yeah.
never remember. No, I hear you. But so you were kind of just railing on like Lilith Fair, kind of.
Yeah, basically.
Because there's so many women rockers that do rock out. But yeah, that whole Lilith Fair movement was a little much. It was just like, okay, like, yeah.
It was like this whole girl power thing, but it wasn't like the
Rocking
Riot
out.
Girl. It was like
it was like the opposite of Riot Girl.
It was just like let's just unite in our sisterhood type thing.
Right.
Which is like, okay, that's cool, but there's no place for me in there really.
Right. That's so
true. There's no place for most men.
Right.
In that.
That's very true. Yeah. So you're only gonna get half your fan base, and for sure.
I mean, I can relate to some of those songs. I'm not to say that they're
Jewel.
not. Yeah.
No.
What's her hit song? I forget. But I remember liking Jewel. I remember the
like,
song on the
okay,
radio was just like, yeah.
Yeah. At least it's something. It was something kind of new and different, and then. But yeah, and then after the 10th love song on an acoustic guitar.
Right.
I mean, it's the same thing with like Jude's and the acoustic guitars, and I was sick of that, so I was like, I'm picking up a banjo, like, so.
Yeah, that happens like with the music industry in general. Is like as soon as they find something that works, they're like, oh, let's get 10 more of those.
Right.
And so you have an oversaturation of whatever it is. So for at that era, it was like female musicians.
Totally.
It was Tori Amos, I think, was the one that probably spawned all that. Tori Amos and Sarah McLachlan probably were the ones
that sounds right. Yeah,
that were like really kicked off the whole female musician thing, and unfortunately kind of went in that direction. But then obviously there was other greater musicians. I mean, there's plenty of female musicians I listen to now that I can really that I really love.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Sorry, ladies. I don't mean to be so.
No. I'm not offended.
So dude.
I totally agree with you, and people should just listen to what they want to listen to. It like if you don't want to listen to Lilith Fair, that's understandable.
Right, and that's a festival. It's not even an artist.
Right, yeah. Lilith Fair genre. I find it like to be a genre, like almost.
Yeah.
The Lilith Fair genre.
You say Lilith Fair, and you're like, oh, I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. But. Alright, that was the album.
That was the album. It's wonderful.
It's a good album.
Thank you for suggesting it.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with Bonnie Raitt so much.
Yeah. So I'm not a huge Bonnie Raitt fan. I grew up on like her greatest hits or something like that. But I found this record like for $7 or something at In Your Ear, and and I was like, oh, I'll give this a try. And I brought it home, put it on, and it's just beautiful. It's just beautiful record, front and back. And she went to... There's a lot of old folk covers on it. There's a few of her originals, but she does some nice covers as well. And it was recorded in like a cabin. On the record itself, it says like a little story of where it was recorded. It's recorded in a cabin in like north of Michigan or something, like like on an island off of Michigan or Wisconsin or something like that. And you can just like tell that it was made in like some very like cozy place. I don't know. Yeah. So it's a really sweet record, and you can really hear her like blues influence, and definitely not a lot of rocking out, but it's very, I love just putting it on, and it's like very sweet.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's more of a country blues rock person, right? So.
Yeah, for sure. So maybe sometime we'll discuss that.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I'm always into listening to something different,
Yeah.
which is kind of why it's nice to start kind of approaching a guest with their collection as opposed to trying to
Yeah.
use whatever I've got for the time
Sure,
being.
that is nice. Yeah.
So yeah, because I think Bonnie Raitt's kind of like one of those artists that I have known about forever,
Yeah.
but never really got into her work.
Yeah.
So it's definitely something I'd definitely be interested in giving a whirl,
Yeah.
just to kind of get a good idea of like, oh,
Right.
okay, yeah, now I see
Right.
why you've had this longevity of a career.
Right,
know?
exactly. I think that's what I realized out of this too, because I was like, I know she's a great artist, great musician. I couldn't even tell you the names of other albums of hers actually, other than like the greatest hits, and so yeah. So when I just picked this album up, I was like blown away. I was like, oh, I didn't realize she was so good, and she's, and that was one of her first albums. It was just cool to really see where she came from, I guess. So
Yeah, cool.
yeah,
Sounds good. Well, we'll do it next time.
for sure.
Do you have anything coming up? Any shows that you're doing soon? Or?
I do. The Askew on August 16th, which should be a good show, and then I've got a show in Beacon, New York, and then actually this coming Thursday, which anyone who happens to be in Beacon, New York.
Oh, I have friends in Beacon.
Yeah, really?
I do. Yeah.
Really? Okay, yeah,
Okay.
I've never been. I'm really excited to visit and see what it's all about. I'm playing at the Dogwood,
Okay.
which is it's just like a restaurant, cafe, bar that's been there for a long time, and is just very welcoming to musicians and artists.
Okay.
So yeah, the Dogwood on Thursday.
Jed Marshall, Andrea Moreau,
Yeah.
help a lady out.
Yeah, so that would be great if some people can get over there. So yeah, and then September, hopefully my new album will be out. So.
September.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Big plan? Any big release?
Not yet.
Not yet?
I still am figuring it out. So it'll probably be the end of September. So we'll see
Okay.
how that all goes. It'll be all very new to me to figure that out, but hopefully something will happen.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
So, cool. That's great, Kate. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
I've been drinking about it, and I've been thinking about